It's Dora.
Yeah.
It's not a deep character.
I know, it's not.
You're not Andy
crazy...
Serkis playing Gollum versus Smeagol. It's
Hi everyone, it's me!
But there were some...
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome all to the very first edition of Nonsense Reviews. I'm Brandon Ellis.
I am Scott Honickman.
My name's Ben, what's up?
And I'm Justin.
That's a lot of cooks today. That's a lot of people sitting their butts in the theaters to see a movie. And not just any movie. We saw Dora and the Lost City of Gold.
So, Brandon, you want to explain what we're going to try to do with our reviews? Because our reviews aren't just going to be any run-of-the-mill movie reviews. We're going to actually do a little something different here.
Exactly. We're not the typical Jeremy Jans or Chris Stuckmans on the YouTubes. We have something close to home to us. We have a show, Nonsense News Nation, on the radio, where we cover nonsensical news stories. So now we're going to cover nonsense in the media and review it. And we're here to decide if what we're reviewing truly is nonsensical. So, just from the very trailer alone of Dora and the Lost City of Gold, we'll play that for a second.
We're on to something big, Dora.
Cousin Diego, you're so skinny and tall.
This isn't the jungle. It's high school. It's life or death.
Hola, Dora.
Let me go!
You'll help us find your parents and the Lost City of Gold.
Where are we?
Oh, look. Dora brought a knife on the field trip, everybody.
Yeah, looking at that trailer, it seems pretty nonsensical, right?
You know, very much so it does. I don't understand why Dora is going through all these crazy obstacles in the jungle, and I mean, in the show she's in the jungle, but now she's in like temples and stuff.
See, I don't understand why they have to make this like a kid's like Temple Run or like a kid's Tomb Raider. Like,
she feels more like a Lara Croft.
My question here is, what about the animals? In the trailer we saw some of our favorite characters, right? We had Boots and Swiper. There were some inconsistencies in the movie based off those animals. I think it's a little nonsensical for those characters. So let's talk about that.
But here's the thing with our reviews. We're trying to see if it's a sort of a good kind of nonsense, where maybe it's something so bad it's good. We know going into Dora that we're not expecting Citizen Kane.
We're not expecting a masterpiece here. We're not expecting gold, even though it's in the title of the movie.
We have to figure out, is there a reason why this is a lost city? Is it worth exploring?
Is it worth
Should we find it? And we're going to tell you just that. So a little background. I work at a movie theater. I could see movies for free with another person. So Ben, you were my romantic date tonight, and we got free tickets. So we didn't pay anything.
Oh yes, we did.
Justin, we paid with our time. Justin and Scott paid the big bucks to see this movie.
The big 1.5.
We did pay, and we sat down, and we wanted to answer this question: is this, city worth discovering and exploring? And I think they did a great job, kind of with the set pieces and the landscape. You really felt like you were in the jungle here. You really felt like, well, there was another part of the movie where it took place at a high school, but for the majority of the movie, it's going to take place in the jungle, some remote jungle in Peru, I believe, and you're going to explore temples and, rainforests. And they did make it look very appealing.
Scott, I saw you at the concession stand, and you got a beer. You were probably tired, a little delusional. Maybe you had some jungle fever like Dora and the gang and Diego.
Oh, man.
The creators of this movie need to refund me. You can just give me the money back. It did not stay to the spirit of the original cartoon.
I disagree.
You disagree, Scott?
I disagree.
Okay, why do you disagree?
World Star!
Alright, so clearly, I'm going to be the one defending this movie the most out of the three of us. Brandon, Ben, and Justin did not enjoy it. However, I enjoyed a lot of things about this movie. I disliked some things too. It wasn't a perfect movie. Justin brought up how he doesn't think it stayed true to the original. Well, I disagree. Dora as a character, she's, very uplifting, upbeat. She's always engaging with the audience, and she did that in this movie, so that sticks to her character. Boots is her faithful assistant. Swiper is in this movie, and whenever he's on screen, he speaks English. So there is an inconsistency there.
Exactly.
But Swiper does stay true to his character. He does swipe, and he does try to steal things, and he is part of the bad guys in this movie.
I'll actually agree with you there. I think to an extent, in some sick, twisted, demented way, it does stay true
That was probably
to Dora.
the only consistent thing in the movie.
However, we have to ask the question, did it really deserve to have its own live-action movie? Is this worth adapting?
You see a lot of these live-action movies now, and you're like, why is this getting a remake? Oh, this is done so poorly. Dora never ever had, to my knowledge, any kind of live-action remaster or remake. And did it deserve it? I mean, that's very arguable, but with what they did make, I feel like they made a reasonable, I don't want to say quality product, but they made a solid product to where, audiences of, obviously younger audiences will definitely like it. The kids in our theater seem to really enjoy it.
You mean most of our audience?
Yeah.
All of our audience. Well, there was some...
Scott,
Because babies like poop jokes.
Scott,
and boy, did that deliver.
1 or 2 poop
And
jokes.
songs.
Or 3 or 4.
Scott, I have to jump in here. My expectations for the Dora movie was based off of the trailer. And from the trailer, I thought we were getting a fish out of water story with Dora going into high school and exploring the real world. And I thought that would have been a really unique, funny angle, that something that we hadn't seen before. However, when we saw the movie, it was basically Dora in the jungle and 5 minutes in the high school. And I was disappointed with that. I think it would have been a better story if it was Dora exploring the evils and horrors of high school.
I will agree with Justin on that. They should have given the high school realm a lot more time. It would have been a lot more interesting, and it would have made the movie a lot more enjoyable.
I want to disagree. I don't think it would have been a better movie if she had stayed in high school the entire time, because she's Dora the Explorer.
Okay,
she's
you got a
supposed
good
to
point
be
there.
explored.
Yes,
but
She can explore the locker rooms, explore her
she
love
can explore
life.
a swirly.
And
she's
it was-
definitely gonna
She's
get
never
bullied.
been to the rave, and that was mentioned in the movie. She never
there
been
was
to
a
one
rave.
of those.
Okay, so we'll get back on track here. They didn't spend a lot of time in the high school, but the time that they did spend in the high school, I feel like it was well done. Dora is supposed to be completely unfamiliar with the elements of high school and, modern life in a big city, and they played that very well. The woman who played Dora, I don't know the actress's name, but she portrayed Dora very well. She's a great actress.
I mean, the best to her ability. It's Dora.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
a deep character.
I know, it's not
You're not
a
Andy
crazy...
Serkis playing Gollum versus Smeagol. It's
Hi, everyone! It's me!
But there were some funny, she's very sarcastic without knowing she's sarcastic. And she played her well. But when Dora, later as the movie progresses, she meets a few people in the high school. I wouldn't say she befriends them, but they become part of the team, so to speak. And there's a point where she does end up back in the jungle with these people from her high school, and they resume the adventure in the jungle, and I think they do it very well.
Scott, here's your problem. You're calling them people. They're just tropes. All of them are literally just basic tropes. And you know what? That could be fine. Because, Justin, I think I could stand by your point. When you saw the trailer, you were looking for something really nonsensical. That's the whole point of nonsense reviews. And for the most part, it had a few, very over-the-top crazy things that I think we can all agree we loved and laughed at. But for the most part, which I think you can agree on, and Ben you can agree on, it was just generic. If they just embraced that really weird side, that really over the top, just fully knowing how ridiculous this is, and just going with it.
There are instances in this movie where it recognizes it's being, ridiculous. The whole concept of Dora the Explorer is ridiculous. Like in the beginning, when Dora is saying to the screen, "Can you say this?" and her dad looks at her like, "Who are you talking to?" That's a good way to, like you said earlier, break the stereotype of Dora.
Honestly, that was the only thing about the movie that I really liked. I liked that they took the tropes of Dora and they poked fun at it, but they didn't do it enough. They did it in the first 15 minutes of the movie and they forgot about it.
Well, I like to disagree because because in the high school, you know, she's being her normal Dora self, and everyone's like, "What the hell is this? Who are you?" Like she's clearly, you know, a fish out of water in the high school. And when she's like going around introducing herself to everybody, which is a classic Dora thing, everyone's like weirded out by that. And then there's the scene where she first enters the high school and she goes through security and they're going through her backpack. That was a pretty comical scene. And it was a good way to portray.
Because the
Dora
trailer
is.
promised a lot of that. We wanted more.
Also, in the early scenes, she was seen with like a GoPro and like recording herself. Why isn't there like a YouTube Dora show? Honestly, I was kind of expecting something like that, but that was never delivered.
I guess it was
Ben,
more so her own personal.
You just want that because she looks like your girlfriend.
Okay, don't bring this up.
All right,
Do
we
not
need to
bring
mention
this up.
something. Can I bring this up?
Yes, you may bring this up.
All right, so there's a nerdy, awkward character, like one of the stereotypes. He's like, oh, I like video games and I can't talk to girls.
In space.
In space, in comics, and TV and movies. And this guy looked just like our friend Ben here. Just like an awkward 16 version, but that's what he was. And it's hilarious that he sort of looked like you back then, and you have a girlfriend that sort of looks like Dora. I'm sorry, it's hysterical.
I was yelling at them when
it helped me get through the movie, even over the beer. It was definitely that.
It was probably that.
And I thank you, Ben. I know you had no say whatsoever, but... So, let's cut to the chase. Let's hear some final thoughts, and I want to know, we want to know, they listening want to know, is this worth the nonsensical review? Does it get the nonsense seal of approval? We're going to start with you, Scott.
Okay. Overall, I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was pretty over the top, but honestly, I feel like they knew it was ridiculous because they know Dora is a ridiculous concept. This movie will appeal to kids, obviously a lot more than adults. It's a kids movie. But if you go to see it with your kid, I don't think you're going to have a miserable experience. There are some adult jokes that'll go over the heads of kids. I want to say it is a fun adventure to be had as you go along, seeing, you know, how these characters interact, tropes as you called them, and the adventure that they go through. So overall, I think they did a good job. There are a couple scenes here where they really do a good job at, paying homage to Dora's character from her original cartoon. They do a good job of that. All the actors in here are great, and I'll move along to Justin here.
Yeah, so if you're looking for a nonsense movie that you can just have fun with and laugh and really make fun of and parody Dora, this isn't the movie for you. But as Scott was saying, if you just want a fun family flick that you can throw your kids in front of for an hour and you can forget about them, then go watch Dora.
Jumping on Justin's point, that's pretty much this movie. It should have stuck on Nickelodeon. Throw your 5-year-olds near it. Go have some fun time with your wife, and yeah, not the seal of approval.
I came in expecting to just go in laughing at it and just having fun with how ridiculous it was. And it definitely did have elements of that, and there were bits and pieces where I was having fun with how over the top it was. But I think it played it a little too safe. That's the only thing, where it was typical. I can't say I'm mad at it. I just expected a little more out of Dora, which probably is a problem on me. I should probably reevaluate my life for expecting more out of a Dora movie, but I guess that's just me. And maybe Ben, and maybe Justin.
So I'd give it the nonsense seal of approval. The three of you won't, so it's 1-3, so looks like it's not getting the seal of approval. Thank you for listening to our review. We hope to make more in the near future, and please see Dora and decide for yourself whether or not you think it's nonsensical.
Yeah, so stay tuned for more nonsense reviews, Nonsense News Nation. There's a lot of stuff. Get tuned. Stay tuned. A lot of good stuff. This has been Brandon, Scott, Justin, and Ben, and we are signing out.